Everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys.
So thank you all for being here as well. My name is Rachel Harrison. I'm the adult programming coordinator. Kathryn Kauffman, all the way from Lexington, joining us here tonight.
My name is Kathryn Kauffman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is where we present what and who we are in this journey called life. Special shout out to Joy Hall, my Monday night pal over here on Instagram. Roberta Coffee, good to see you. Magical Monday indeed, and that's one of Melissa's favorite things to say. Tonight is going to be open dream interpretation. So I have some things about dreams here and a couple of dreams that people submitted for interpretation. It's going to be kind of an anonymous read. They're watching tonight, so they'll know which dream is theirs for interpretation. Special shout out to Paige Denise over here on Facebook. Good to see you, girl. And what I'm planning on doing is doing this open dream interpretation probably once a month. Just so that people get their dreams and their concerns interpreted, because a lot of times we'll have, kind of disturbing dreams or maybe really weird ones that we don't really know what to do with, or maybe we're too close to what's going on to see objectively what the dream is really about. So dream interpretation does help quite a bit. Hey to Pamela Downey and Ina Thompson, good to see you guys. A couple of housekeeping things I want to do. The first thing I want you to do, if you really enjoy the Monday night shows and you feel like you're getting something out of these, go ahead and hit the share button on your screen if you're on Facebook or Instagram. Go ahead and hit the share button. So the ways that you can help the show out is to share it in your news feed, share it with your friends or family that you feel like might benefit from the information. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's where all the past episodes of Monday Night Live are banked on that YouTube channel. And so if you want to go back and watch Why Are Spirits Here, What Happens When You Die, How to See an Aura, if you want to see any of that stuff, go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and then go through the playlist, Monday Night Live, and you will find a bunch of really cool stuff that we've done in the past that you can go back and watch. Another new thing is, let's see, I'm going to be on a podcast. It's airing August the 1st, and the name of it is Sage in August. And so I have a 2-page list of questions that we're going to go over, one of which is how I met David. And I know there's a lot of people who are very curious about how me and David met and how we got together and all that kind of stuff. And so, that's going to be on the podcast for August the 1st. If you want to follow the podcast, it is at a link that's on my timeline. So go back in my timeline to yesterday, and there will be a post there that you can pull the link off of and go subscribe to that podcast. And then be sure you listen on August the 1st. Also, how to do a sound clearing. And I'll probably do that on basic house clearing and that kind of thing. Okay. Hey to Angel Lee, good to see you. Special shout out to Barbara Bacon and Crystal Crazy. Awesome, always awesome to see you here. Misty Dones English. Arthea Morgan, Charlotte Northcutt, and Dana Likens Fleener. So Charlotte says, I often have the same house show up in my dreams. It was the home of my great aunt. Why do you think it appears in my dreams so often? Okay, so Charlotte, the subconscious is usually represented by either the room or the house. But what you want to look at is, are there any dominant colors? Okay, first off, what is the condition of the house? And that may clue into why it is your great aunt's house, and the time frame of, that house. What was the time frame that you encountered the house? Because that really tells us more about what's going on in the subconscious. Let's say, for example, if I had a dream about the house that I lived in when I was 6, okay? Well, at that age, 6, 7, 8, I had some pretty big traumas. And so if I'm dreaming of the house at that age as it was then, what that's alluding to is the subconscious may be presenting things that happened in the past for me to try to deal with now. Maybe those things are coming back up. Maybe they're coming up to the surface now that I'm able to deal with them a little bit better. And so that can be kind of an example of why a house presents in a certain time frame in a certain way. So let me know, what was the time frame? Are there any colors specifically that are standing out in the house? What significant factors about your great aunt's house makes it stand out? Hey, to Sharon Engine. So Sharon says that her dreams are very vivid and in color. Okay, so the colors are what you have to be aware of, and we're going to go over those because they're very significant of what's going on. Let me check for questions over here on Instagram. So Joy wants to know, do you have to be a medium to have a spirit visitation? No, anybody. In fact, most people have visitations. It's the easiest way for a spirit to come into contact with you or to come face to face with you is through a dream. And so that's why it's always important, and I kind of bring it up quite a bit, to make sure that you have psychic protection around you when you're asleep. Because when you're asleep, your conscious mind is not in control of guarding your auric field. And so you're really open to a lot of things that can try to attack, that can try to influence. And it's a easy time for spirits to do a visitation, like from a loved one who's passed on. So you don't have to be a medium to have a visitation like that. So hey, to tell you more, good to see you. Awesome, always awesome to see you on a Monday night. Angel Lee says, I dream often of the house we lived in when I was 13 years old. Many odd things happen there. It's where I experienced my first paranormal encounter. We had a haunting there. Haven't lived there in decades. So the context of the dream is important, Angel. If you're just having a dream about the house, and you're not in it, see, I need you guys like details so I can really nail down exactly what's going on. There could be aspects of being 13 that you still need to deal with. And it also depends on, like, what are you doing in the house? Is it just a setting? I got a dream that was sent to me by a subscriber, and she was dreaming of a white house, and she walked up the stairs into a room. So anytime you're walking upstairs or downstairs or going into an area, what that is you're going from the regular mindset deep into the subconscious. So it can either be walking up the steps, walking down the steps, or maybe even going through a door. So you notice that you're going from one area into another. And on the other side of the doorway, after the steps, she encounters lost loved ones that are communicating with her through showing her things. Okay, so what that dream means is she's diving deep into the subconscious and actually picking up a visitation. This is an area in the subconscious that her family has designated as a meeting point. And we talk about this frequently because if you want to, you can set up an area like that. It takes practice, but you can set up an area like that where you specifically designate that area for visiting with loved ones who've passed on. Or, like, if you anticipate somebody leaving this realm and transitioning, you and that person can set up an area within a dream or within an astral projection to meet up should something happen to either one of you. And it's a really great technique to use. Hi to Witch and Shit over here on Instagram. I love your name. That's so neat. So Angel says, okay, here's some more stuff about her house. She's in the house. It's old and dark inside. And sometimes the door is open and someone is standing in the threshold. I'm walking to the door and then I wake up. So, that is somebody who wants to visit with you. Now, here's the key to this, Angel. It may be somebody who passed away during that time frame. So the time frame is kind of a clue to who it might be. So that's somebody either you knew or from your family that passed away during in and around that time frame. And they're probably wanting to visit with you. You may not quite be ready to visit with them, and that's why they're appearing as a dark shadow. This could be somebody from your family who passed away that you may not have known real well, and that's why they appear as a dark shadow. See if any of that resonates with you, and let's go from there. So Tara wants to know, can I share a disturbing dream that I just had? Absolutely. That's what these sessions are absolutely for, is to try to get an interpretation. And sometimes a disturbing dream, once you interpret it, really isn't that bad. Hello to Helen Drinkwater. So Melissa says, oh Lord, eating jewelry or putting bobs of it in my mouth to hide it. Dreamed this 2 times, but never dreamed this before. Okay. And I had a dream that somebody submitted about their teeth falling out. Anytime that you dream about something about your mouth, either things being forced into your mouth or your teeth falling out, what is happening there is either people are forcing their opinions on you and you're having to eat them, or if your teeth are falling out, maybe you're having to be nice, or you're having to say things that you really you're not vested in, you're not totally with in your heart. And it's, maybe you just have to say them to keep the peace, but you really don't believe them. And so that can be the teeth falling out or things like corrosion or things happening to your mouth. But things being stuffed in your mouth or having to eat, sometimes, like if we've said things we regret out of the heat of the argument or something like that, and maybe we have to eat our words, but things being stuffed into the mouth, like I'd say the jewelry and the bobs might be people trying to shove their ideas or their wants or needs in and try to make you eat them. That's what I'm feeling. See if that resonates with you, Melissa. So Angel says, I'm in the house. It's okay. We got that. I just need to know if that resonates with you. Hello to Laura Likens. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting double messages here. Okay. So if I repeat myself, I'm sorry. But I'm getting a couple messages, like identical ones came through on the feed. That's kind of weird. Hey to Paula Stumbo. Awesome to see you. And hey to Wendy Dixon and Pamela Downey. Gobs, not bobs. Okay. So Melissa says it's not bobs, it's gobs. Gobs of jewelry. That would be jewelry is something that's special to you. And so that might refer to either other people trying to force their sacred ideas on you, or you trying to assimilate information like that, and it may not be exactly what goes with you. See if that resonates with you, Melissa. So Pamela Downey says, several dreams of being in attic bedroom, Pepto-Bismol pink, retro posters on the wall, some holes in the wall. Something happened that scares me. I wake up to this day. I despise the color pink. I don't know if past memory. Okay, so that's a big clue, because the pink can represent either romantic stuff or immature stuff. Okay. My feeling on the dream is it's immature things, or things that weren't of maturity at that time. And retro posters on the wall allude to maybe this is a time in life, an earlier time in life, let's say 1960, 1970. And something has happened at that time that you still haven't dealt with or still haven't accepted. And so you despise the color pink, because it represents what happened that's locked away in the subconscious. And this is way locked away because it's an attic bedroom. That means it's pretty deep in the subconscious. And so one of the things you can do with this, Pamela, is you can get some hypnotherapy done, and they'll actually walk you through to that bedroom and find out what it represents that you can finally deal with and get rid of. But I think the basic color pink there is referring to a time frame, simply because of the retro posters as well. It's alluding to a time frame of when something happened to you. So Angel says, you're spot on. My grandmother died while we were living there. See, we unlocked it. Yay. All right, Angel. That is awesome. So now that you know who it is, you can have a better type of visitation the next time that you dream this. You might actually see her. So one of the things that you can do to augment this is, if you can, because a lot of people don't have pictures from way back then, is you could focus on a picture of her and ask her to enter your dream, and that you will recognize her and know her this time. And then she'll present herself maybe as the picture looks, because they can present themselves any way that they want. And here's something interesting that I've noticed about doing mediumship is that most often spirits don't like to present themselves as they were right before they passed away. And a lot of people don't understand that, because I will give a description of the person maybe in their 40s and 50s, when the person was vibrant, they felt good, they were getting around and doing and going. I'll get that kind of description, and then the person I'm doing the mediumship for will say, well, no, they were 80 pounds and had looked, cancerous, and people don't want to show themselves like that. And most often they won't show themselves like that. It would be like, when they communicate with me, it's almost like sometimes they want to put on their Sunday clothing because it's a meeting. I mean, we're first meeting and they want to look nice, really. And so a lot of times I don't see the way that they really looked right before they passed away. So Charlotte says, I was probably about 30 when she passed away. And that was the only house. Okay, this is the great aunt's house. I was probably about 30 when she passed away. That was the only house that she lived in during my lifetime. My great aunt is not always a part of the dream. I don't even connect with the other family members who live there with me. The colors don't really stand out. It has wallpaper that has brownish roses, impressionistic, not realistic looking roses. Okay, so let's analyze that. The age range might be significant. I think the age range is the only thing that's significant about this. There's a time stamp here about the house, the roses, and your age. And the roses represent love, but let's look at it. Brownish roses, that's not typical. It could be that the brownish roses kind of signify love being lost or love decaying, something about love that has died or decayed or is not vibrant. See if that resonates with what was going on in your 30s. So, and just because something happened a long time ago, if we forget about it, sometimes we think we've dealt with it when we really haven't. Okay. We may have just repressed it and gone on, but there are things that happen in everyday life that still cause these things to come up. And your subconscious wants you to be healthy. It wants you to deal with things. It doesn't want you to repress things and leave them locked away. You can't learn anything from that. You can't grow from that. And so if there are blocks that are still occurring from way long ago, and your subconscious sees an opportunity to represent those things for you to deal with, it's going to draw on the symbology from the past and kind of flash that to you so that you can deal with it. Hey, to all you guys that have just joined over here on Instagram, Roland, Shard, and Sabine, good to see you guys. Let's do some quick waves here to y'all. It's always awesome to see you guys over here on Instagram. I'm glad that you guys are spending Monday night with me. That is so cool. Love to see you guys. And if you guys over here on Instagram have a question, I'll be watching the comments to see if I can see any of the stuff that we need to address there. So just put them in the comments down below. Okay, so Wendy says, how do I get my deceased family, mom, dad, brother, to come to me in my dreams? Okay, Wendy, so part of what you need to do are the theta wave meditations right before you go to bed. And the best way to force your brain waves into that state is by using binaural beats or hemisync techniques that put your brain waves immediately at the communication point that spirits is used for communication. Theta wave is the exact brain wave that spirits use for communication. And you can do that using the earbuds or headphones from binaural beats, and there's binaural beats all over the internet. You just have to look them up. There's a lot of free ones on YouTube. You want to do that meditation for 30 minutes right before you go to bed. And then while you're meditating, you're going to say out loud to the spirits that you want to communicate with, so-and-so, please visit me in a dream tonight if the energy is possible for you to do that. Now, it's not going to happen right away. Some people, it does happen right away, but usually it takes a lot of practice to get those brain waves right where they need to be for a really good visitation. But if you practice, it will happen. And also, one of the things that people need to remember is the energy of the time has to be right. Let's say if it's close to a full moon or close to a new moon, the energies are elevated. And so it's easier for a spirit to manifest themselves in a dream when the energies are high like that. They have plenty of energy to draw from. Now, some spirits are not good at communication. And so no matter how much you ask them to visit, They're not going to be able to do that until they develop the technique that's needed to enter somebody's dream. So, people usually their communication skills don't magically get better after they pass on. So if they were not a good communicator in life, you're going to have a difficult time getting a really nice visitation from them after they've passed away. So Melissa says, yes, absolutely. So yeah, that kind of resonates with you of having stuff shoved down your throat. I know the feeling, Melissa. So hey to Chastity, good to see you, and Gina. And so Arthea says, I dreamed someone that I know on Facebook but have never hung out with drowned in the river trying to save a dog. Oh, yes. We talked about this, Arthea. So, and empaths can make a connection over the internet because we're using that gut feeling, and an energy cord can be established even if you haven't ever met the person physically. There's still an energy cord. And so now here's the thing: dogs, cats, they're all symbolic for friends. Okay. And somebody who drowns trying to save something, what that means is, and it could be empathically, you've picked this up, is that person is either putting themselves at risk or going to go down with the ship trying to help someone else. So that's your subconscious saying, if you've got an empathic connection to the person or an energy cord to the person and they're going down with the ship, don't get dragged down with that along with them. Maybe you need to look at trying to pull that energy back a little bit. So here's the disturbing dream for Tara. I was in an open amphitheater type area under attack. A man came up behind me and started to slit my throat. I stopped him, but he got the little tool he was using back from me and finished. I didn't die, could still make some noise, and was able to stop them after some struggle. So a couple of things that are going on in this particular dream. It's an open amphitheater, which means that this can be somebody that you don't necessarily know. It's not enclosed in a house. Usually people that show up that are in the houses, which represent your own subconscious, or people that you know. Open attacks out like that are your empathic ability is sensing an invasive force. Okay. Now, it's important that you're getting attacked in the throat area. What that means is your words, your energy is being cut off. Now, that can be by maybe he represents society, maybe he represents a collective group of people, and you're trying to manage it, you're trying to struggle with it by getting the tool, but in the end, either society or the group of people is successful in cutting what you have, like your feelings, what you're trying to say, what you represent, all of those things. The power is being taken out of the throat chakra. Another thing, Tara, is that because there's a huge block here in this throat area and you can't say what you really feel, or maybe no one's listening to what you have to say, or maybe they're cutting you down about what you have to say, I would suggest getting some energy work here in the throat area. Another thing your subconscious is trying to tell you is that this area needs attention. Maybe this chakra needs work from either a pranic healer or a Reiki practitioner, or maybe getting some acupuncture would help this area. But the throat chakra has been drastically been affected. Now, if you don't correct this, that can lead to physical disorders later on in life, like thyroid problems and vocal cord trouble and all that kind of thing. Because if this area is blocked, or maybe there's too much energy being held there or not enough, then that energy of the area is not healthy, and that can lead to stuff in the future. So we really need to pay attention to our dreams, because they're there to help us, and that can really prevent a lot of problems for the future if you pay attention to what your subconscious is trying to tell you. So Charlotte, back to Charlotte's dream in the great aunt's house, is their faded roses. So that can also represent, a love that is fading or dying. So again, look at that age, the time and the age of the 30s there, and look at the relationships during that time may give a clue to what your subconscious is trying to get you to deal with. So there's a dream that was presented to me. I need to go on to Facebook, and I'm going to read it to you, not verbatim, because it is a little private. This is an anonymous one that I did interpret. And so this person has a recurrent dream. Recurrent dreams are because there's something about the dream that you haven't dealt with. And so the subconscious will keep presenting the same dreams to get you to deal with it. So the person is dreaming about being 14, and they're dreaming about their father who's passed away from cancer. And there's a specific time frame, and the time frame was 1963. Okay. So they're dreaming about a large crowd of people that are at a house, and the crowd of people is outside. They're not scared or anything, but there's strange things that are going on. So they come down a stairway from a bedroom upstairs, which, remember, anytime you're going down a stairway or up a stairway, you're going deeper into the subconscious. They're going out onto a landing, and they're seeing an open fire and a large bit of meat that's turning on a spit. Okay. And then the deceased father is there next to them, and they're hearing conversations. Now, this is a type of a visitation. And what it represents is, I feel like instead of 1963, it represents 1863. The meat turning on the spit is a reference to a long time ago, when that was considered like very special, very expensive to have a large piece of meat that's turning on the spit. And so that took a lot of money from those families back then to have something like that. There's also other aspects of the dream that I can't release, but that point to a certain century or time frame. And so what I think is that the father is presenting like a history of the family. So this person probably needs to look into a genealogy really close on the father's side of the family, and see if this is alluding to a certain time frame from their family history. Or the father could be saying, we knew each other before. We've always known each other. Our family has always been together. And, it's possibly a very well-to-do family, because the representation of the large piece of meat that families usually didn't have access to back then. So that was a really cool dream for me to interpret. And thank you to the person that presented that. Hello to Shannon Pate Miller. Let's see. Shannon says, Do you control that energy off other people? Okay, a little bit more clarification on exactly what you're wanting to know, Shannon. Kind of look at your question and it's what the question says. Do you control that energy off other people? I need a little bit more detail on exactly what you're wanting to know. So Helen says, oh, you have to leave. Yeah, you can always catch the rewind on Facebook. And remember, this is going to be released to YouTube tomorrow. So Marshall says, there was this dream where on a rooftop was a baby crying. I was on the ground. I leapt up there and saw a demon trying to get the baby. I was able to kill the demon, and when I looked for the baby, it had disappeared. Okay, so Marshall, you are protecting the innocent. You can have a demonic attack in your sleep. Evil and negative entities will present themselves to you in your sleep, because remember, that's a perfect time. Your conscious mind is not in control and you're wide open. But this representation, Marshall, is that you are protecting the innocent somehow in your life, and you're completing your task, and you're doing a good job of that. So that's sort of a kudos from your subconscious that you are achieving your goals with regard to conquering some kind of evil force that's going on in your life. So Tara says, being a Taurus, the throat chakra is the chakra of my sign. Oh my gosh. So you are I would definitely, Tara, get some energy work done on your neck there, because definitely need to keep that area healthy. So Shannon says, how to control the energy. Are you meaning, Shannon, controlling the energy in your dream? Is that what? Because if you want to control the energy in your dream, one technique that you need to learn is lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming techniques show you how to interact in the dream. So you're basically awake in the dream, and you're aware, like your awareness wakes up in the dream, and you can actually change things. And so let's say you have dream about being attacked by a demonic force in your dream. If you are just a regular dreamer, you might become the victim, right? But if you're a lucid dreamer, you learn how to fight back, and you realize, hey, I'm in a dream. I can push back with my energy against what this force is, and I can conquer it, or I can overcome it. And so lucid dreaming can really turn the tables around. So yes, and from living people. So Shannon, what I'm going to do is send you a PDF on Messenger on how to control the energies from living people if you're empathic, which it kind of looks like you are, because you said you're collecting other people's energy and really tired. So that means you've got an empathic connection to other people, and it is draining you, because empaths are classical victims of psychic attack or psychic drains. And so, Shannon, a lot of things that you can do is like psychic protection and blocking and shielding techniques. And you need to learn how to control your clairsentient ability, your empathic ability. So what I'm going to urge you to do also, Shannon, is to go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and go back through the playlist on Monday Night Live, and there's 3 episodes on being an empath or clairsentient. It's going to say clairsentient. Clairsentience is an empathic person. And so there's 3 videos on how to manage that. And you're going to watch those and use the techniques off of that. And couple that with the PDF that I'm going to send you for free. And that should take care of it. And we are out of time again. Can you believe it? We're already over. All right. Please share the page, share the videos, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's one of the ways that you can help the show out. Be sure to go back in my timeline and find that Sage in August link, because the podcast coming up is going to be fabulous. And a special shout out to Melissa, who's going to be interviewing me for August the 1st. Good to see you guys as always on a Monday night. Kisses from Kentucky, and I will see you guys later. Bye now.